Morning.
Todd Jeffries and Don Pryor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Todd and Don Show. And to the phones, Rod is on Congress Avenue this morning. Good morning, Rod. What's on your mind?
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Good.
This is my simple opinion as always, but, I think so much of it has to do with the way the media plays out today, and everything is the sky is falling. I don't care which side you're on. If you watch, one channel, it's Trump's going to end us all. If you watch another channel, this is the election that decides if America makes it. And I think we've just turned this country into a powder keg with identity politics. And we live in an age where now you can get famous on YouTube by taping yourself doing something stupid.
Yeah.
And we've just taught our youth to just have no respect and no morality. And that's what terrifies me. Mental health is obviously the big issue. But if we promote this behavior, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And I think until we can come together, we're just going to see this get worse. I am glad that they're actually calling it terrorism because that's what it is.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, Rod. And listen, you say you turn on the TVs and you hear all the news outlets picking a side, putting on a uniform, whatever side they're speaking for. The reason they do that is because people keep tuning in. And for folks like you and others out there, if you don't like that kind of identity politics, you got to change the dial.
I listen to you guys because you make me laugh on my way into work.
Well, that's our job. It may be difficult to laugh this morning, but because we're mourning loss. But you know what I mean.
I had a very wise guy tell me one time to turn off the channel, so I don't really watch the news.
Yeah.
But I can watch people on Facebook and the way they're just so nasty to each other, and we live in a different time than when you and I were young.
Yeah, no, you're right. And this guy down in El Paso that was captured without any kind of fight, really.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's the kind of guy that loves to sit back and watch the social media just unleash its anger and fury.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
This is something he's fantasized for a very, very long time. I have no doubt
about
about
this?
it.
How about we don't give him that? How about that?
Listen, I've already forgotten his name, and I don't feel the need to know his name.
Listen, in the Twitterverse this morning, Ivanka Trump, as our nation mourns the senseless loss of life in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio, prayers for the victims and their loved ones, we must also raise our voices in rejection of these heinous and cowardly acts of hate, terror, and violence. She goes on to tweet, white supremacy, like all other forms of terrorism, is an evil that must be destroyed. Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. But then you go over to the MSNBCs of the world, the Morning Joes. Here's a quote. For those of you funding Donald Trump's reelection campaign, you may want to take note because you keep writing checks to the president. It's on you because you're funding this white supremacist campaign. Wow. It's your money that is funding white supremacy. That's from Joe Scarborough at Joe NBC in the Twitterverse.
I would have.
That right there is insightful.
Yeah.
That right there is very hateful.
And it really gives me some perspective because I thought you had to be more intelligent and more insightful to have a job like he has at that level and make the salary he does. Clearly, he can put a sentence together. I guess he speaks well, but obviously he doesn't have much common sense. And we're seeing that over and over. We're seeing a lot of people that are running for president that the way they're speaking out about this now and blaming Donald Trump specifically, clearly they're not going to be qualified to hold the position that he does.
It is 6:43 here on the Todd and Don Show. Jump in here at 512-836-0590. Listen, police departments, schools, they all have these active shooter drills.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Preparing and training and educating and just being prepared. And I hate to have this conversation, but I think we need to have this public conversation. What would you do if you were inside that Walmart?
Wow.
Now, I think in reality, we all have no idea what we would do.
No.
In the face of a real threat, it's fight or flight. And you know what? Running for safety is good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Standing up and fighting and defending yourself, that's also a good thing.
Right.
Everybody has something a little bit different in them. You don't know how you would react in a situation like this. But what would you do? How do you protect yourself in a situation like this? I mean, the guy's walking in the front door of the Walmart, starts opening fire. Very busy day, back to school shopping at the El Paso Walmart this weekend. It was packed. The police chief said the place was just packed.
Yeah.
Full of people shopping with their kids, their babies, walking aisle to aisle, grocery shopping, getting school supplies, things like that. How would you act? What would you do?
How do you
and the
answer
answers
that?
are hard to answer.
Yeah,
but it's something we should all be thinking about.
Well, I think at the very least we all need to have situational awareness wherever we're in a place like that. Just kind of being aware of who's around you, where the exits are, things like that. I was talking to my wife over the weekend about this, and she told me very clearly this is not anything that I really think about. Kim is always the optimist, and she's kind of realizing now, as a lot of people are, that you got to think about these things wherever you are. But how would I react? I don't know. I would hope that if I had the opportunity to make a difference, that I would run towards, if I could tackle him, if I had some kind of control over the situation, if I was armed, I would hope that I would run towards. Who the hell knows?
Keith on the Todd and Don Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, like you said, I have to turn all the news off. You know, this stuff is just getting so crazy with the statements the left makes and then the statements the right makes that, you know, people are just getting tired of it. You know, and I'll just turn all the news off and wait till next Monday, turn the news back on. I mean, this has been going on for too long. I mean, we did the Russian collusion thing for, 2.5 years? That was just craziness. I think the news needs to be held accountable for all this crap. They keep putting all that hate out, no matter what side it's on, and they're the ones I think are starting all this.
Well,
stuff.
you did the right thing. You turn off the ones you don't like, and maybe they'll change their programming. That's how it works, Keith. Media outlets are, in some regards, a snapshot image of the audience they're trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
CNN,
Right, they're trying to make money.
CNN has a specific audience. Fox News has a specific audience they're going for.
Absolutely.
6:45 at a check on traffic. Here's Don.
Listen, again, if you are heading to the airport this morning, I hope you're not running late because there's a wreck at Riverside. Looks like they're starting to clear that out, but eastbound 71 towards the airport is very, very slow, so get ready for that. Leave yourself some time. Should be improving shortly, though. Also, a wreck right now. This is going to be on the northbound service road at 35 at Runberg. A little bit slow there. Don Pryor with Austin's on-time traffic.
Clouds mixing with sunshine for today, remaining dry but warm with a high of 95. A little muggy tonight with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures drop down to a low right around 72 for tonight. From the Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Courtney Spamer.
This segment brought to you by ARS Rescue Rooter.
We're back after this, and then Todd, you have We Are Blood.
ARS will buy back and replace your old AC and heating system with a brand new high-efficiency system. Call today. We'll install today. Guaranteed. 777-7000.
President Donald Trump, he will address the nation live on the Todd and Don Show at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll go to the White House live. The president is expected to talk about these very issues. The shootings, possible gun control legislation, more restrictions, that sort of thing. Jump in here at 512-836-0590. Now, there is other news to talk about. We're going to briefly touch base on this Cedar Park drive-by shooting over the weekend. A victim killed during a drive-by shooting in Cedar Park Saturday morning has now been identified. Police are still searching for the suspect. Police say two people were shot in their pickup truck at the intersection of East Whitestone Boulevard and US 183A about 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm very familiar with this area. It was right there northbound on the frontage road of 183A at Whitestone Boulevard. It looked like the pickup truck it looked like a work truck that was about to turn left to go westbound on East Whitestone Boulevard when somebody coming off the frontage road of 183A pulls up next to them and fires multiple shots into the truck, killing the passenger, a 25-year-old, and injuring the 45-year-old driver as well. One of the victims, Hispanic male passenger, 22-year-old Fernando Lopez, found dead inside the vehicle. The driver, Hispanic man in his 40s, transported to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. Then the investigation is still actively exploring all avenues, according to police, and they believe that this was the public's not an immediate danger, but maybe a targeted hit.
Yeah.
Someone specific.
It sounds very, very specific.
Yeah. My first thought was, well, this could be some sort of road rage. Maybe the pickup truck cut off the wrong person and they pulled a gun. Or maybe it's some sort of jealous lover.
Right.
Wanted to take out a hit on somebody that was messing with somebody's wife.
Something to settle.
Or it could be some wackerdoodle out there that just went on, just wanted to shoot somebody.
Could be that, but
Less likely.
It's yeah, right. It sounds more and more that it was very, very targeted, very, very specific for whatever reason. So nothing to panic about there, but it's horrible nonetheless.
Now there's obviously guns and the shootings. Obviously, those are going to dominate a lot of the news you're going to hear for the next few days. Got the president coming up at 9. But there are some very important issues that directly affect you this morning right here locally that you may not be aware of. The one is you got to stay out of Lady Bird Lake. It's polluted.
Again?
Yeah. City leaders are now testing the waters due to the presence of a certain type of algae that is harmful to pets. Yeah, the city of Austin is urging pet owners to keep their pets out of Lady Bird Lake due to the possible presence of this algae that can be very harmful. Right now, the warning comes as an abundance of caution, they say. Remember our water supply, and there was an abundance of caution because we got a little mud in the water?
Yes,
Remember
yes,
that? We shut
yes,
the water down?
absolutely.
Though the city says algae is not uncommon in natural waterways, it will be testing the water and algae levels for toxicity. This all according to the LCRA. Now, city leaders yesterday said the testing could take 2 to 4 days to complete. In the meantime, pet owners are encouraged not to let their pets swim or drink the water in the lake as a precaution. The city noted Austin Water does not use Lady Bird Lake as a source of drinking water, and the algae does not impact drinkable water systems for Austinites. It's just your pets or your swimmers out there that may get in the water.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, along Lady Bird Lake, if anybody spends any time down there, you know that in fact, we have a dog park right there along the banks of Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah.
Near Auditorium Shore. So there are a lot of people that are letting their dogs jump in the water.
Yeah.
That's rampant.
I'm
going
more
on
concerned
down there.
about the dog poop in our water.
Well, let's.
I'm sure it's a big problem.
Well, let's take it up a notch. The human poop that's in our water.
That too.
You know, for example, we've been talking about the red-eyed fly, and I was telling you about I have a brother-in-law that's doing a lot of work there. They're redoing the red-eyed fly. He's a contractor, and he'll tell you right now he's witnessing a lot of homeless people pooping in that alley. Where does that go? It goes down to Waller Creek when it rains. Where does that go? It goes to Lady Bird Lake. So all kinds of issues at play there.
Yeah, city spokesperson told KVUE the algae that is in question is called the blue-green algae, but they're still awaiting test results for this certain type. They also reported a few signs were in place along Auditorium Shores at Redbud Isles Sunday, just kind of a warning. And as far as your pets, test positive for ingesting this blue algae, they say pets can be fairly sick depending on how much they swallowed. According to the Blue Cross, symptoms of blue algae poisoning in pets include vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, weakness, collapse, unconsciousness. I guess it could lead to death. The Blue Cross urges you to contact your vet immediately if you suspect that they've been poisoned. There you go.
Well, there's
no threat to humans, just to pets.
Well, we've had that warning along the coast about, that flesh-eating disease or amoeba or whatever it is you can get in our Texas coast. And I was down there over the weekend. And the flesh-eating disease that I got is really not that bad.
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
Lost a little weight.
A little bit.
Did you do any fishing?
Did not do any fishing.
How are your shoulders? You're okay? Because every time you go to the coast, you're going to break a shoulder.
I didn't fish. I'm not crazy right now. That's how I broke a shoulder. Last time was fishing.
Did you swim in the ocean?
Swim in the ocean. Yeah, it was
body
wonderful.
surfing. What do you do? You body surf?
There was
boogie
no
board?
body surfing.
What kind of guy? You body surf?
I
boogie
love
board?
I'm very good at that actually for a guy like me. But there were no waves because the water. It was like a dead calm down there. It was like a dead calm. I've never seen Galveston, Texas, so beautiful as it was over the weekend. The water was so clear. You could see your feet. It was amazing.
The Chamber of Commerce pay you to say that?
They did. I'm Don Pryor.
There you go. All right. But
beautiful.
You didn't do any fishing. How can you go to the beach and not fish?
Easily. You sit on the beach. You have a Bud Light Lime in your hand, or Bud Light Lime, as Leon would call it, Bud Light Lime.
Uh-huh.
And you stare at the water.
I got you.
And the flesh-eating amoebas.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but you had a good time. Did you get a sunburn?
Wonderful time.
Get a little sunburn?
A little bit. Let
me
show
see.
you. Yeah, hang on.
Unbutton that shirt.
1 second.
Oh God.
Hang on.
Oh gee, no.
No,
put
no,
that
right
away.
here.
I don't need to see that.
No, look.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
See?
Oh God.
Right there.
Wait a minute.
What?
You shaved the hair on your chest?
I didn't.
Seriously. I just noticed something.
Wasn't me.
The last time I saw you shirtless, you had more hair on your body. Hey, are you thinning the hair on your chest and stomach again?
I'm afraid it's because it's getting gray, actually. That's the issue. Harder to see. It's there, just harder to see.
You got gray belly hair.
Trying to get gray arm hair.
You are a silverback gorilla.
Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it there. Getting gray.
At least it's not growing on your head.
Well, Yeah, getting gray everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. We're not on the air, right?
Yeah, we're on the air. 6:54. Austin's city manager, Spencer Cronk, he will release his proposed budget for the next year for the city council today. Yeah, this presentation is being held at LifeWorks. It's a nonprofit provider in the fight against youth homelessness. Well, that's not a political statement, is it? More city leaders are beginning to support city taxpayers taking a larger role in paying for the resources of Austin's many homeless people. In an interview with KXAN and News Radio KLBJ, Mayor Steve Adler said he supported finding more resources to help pay for rent, deposits, and a risk fund to help with damages, in case the homeless person damages an apartment, similar to what he supported in a citywide effort to house homeless veterans. As you know, the mayor was on our show Friday. Mayor Adler also said within this upcoming budget there will be funds to at least add 30 additional police officers. The hope is to add more down the line with an emphasis on providing support for APD's Sexual Assault Division. The final version of next year's budget would be approved by the City Council sometime in September, and the city won't have to worry about state-imposed property tax caps until the following year. So your taxes will definitely go up this time. They're going to try to raise them as much as they can, and they're going to say it's to take care of the homeless. They're going to raise your taxes as much as they can because they won't be able to next year.
Yeah.
So they're going to get as much out of you as they can right now.
Right. Save up.
Yeah. In the meantime, Austin Councilmember Leslie Poole expressed support for raising taxes 8%, which is the highest it would be able to go to without going to voters having to change or weigh in on this issue. Poole says the increase will help prepare for the imposed revenue limits that the state has put on the city. We got to get all we can out of them now because we won't get all we can out of them next year. That's what Kathy Tobo says.
By the way, I missed the mayor's visit on Friday. Did he say anything that encouraged you as far as what we're going to do about the homeless?
He told us he just needed more money. Period.
Okay, that was it.
More money. More.
The Todd and Don Show.
Todd Jeffries here. I want to talk to